Project Kyper, supposed to be this competitor to SpaceX's Starlink. Is it fair at this point to even call it a competitor?
Well, it aspires to be, but at the moment it's not there yet. So Starlink has more than 6,000 satellites operating, providing high-speed internet service around the world. Amazon wants Project Hyper to do something similar. The original goal was to have the first batch of operational satellites launch first half of this year, and by this time they would have beta service starting. They've encountered delays, though, in launching the satellites. They're now looking to launch the first batch of satellites early next year and then have service starting later in the year. The big problem for them is, well, one big problem is that they do have a deadline that they received from the Federal Communications Commission when they first got the license for this back in 2020. They need to have half of their satellites, it's over 1,600 satellites, up and operating by the middle of by middle of 2026, July 2026. If they don't get that, then they're going to need the FCC to give them an extension, to give them a waiver.
One challenge is getting those satellites into orbit. Blue Origin's certainly a possibility, but if they can't pull it off, can they rely on SpaceX to do this? Would that ever happen?
Well, they do have a contract with SpaceX to launch on, I think, 3 SpaceX rockets, but that's just a tiny part of their total launch needs. So for the most part, Amazon is looking to new rockets from Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' founded company, as well as Europe's Arianespace and United Launch Alliance, which is a joint venture between Boeing and Lockheed Martin. The challenge, though, is that those 3 companies all have new rockets. Among the 3 of them, those rockets have launched a total of 3 times. So they don't really have a huge track record, and it takes a while to get rockets up and going to a frequent launch schedule. So it's a big challenge that they face.
It seems
SpaceX, on the other hand, of course, has its own rockets. They don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. And it seems like, speaking of SpaceX, Elon Musk and President-elect Trump are extremely tight after what happened over the last few months and the more than $200 million Musk spent to help get Trump elected. How bad is that for Jeff Bezos?
Of course, Musk and the president-elect are very close. President Trump, during his first term, did have some run-ins with Jeff Bezos. There was some criticism from the president of Jeff Bezos, who, of course, owns the Washington Post. Amazon did go to court in the first Trump administration, alleging unfair treatment of the company, saying that they had been cut out of a contract with the Defense Department. So there is history there. More recently, we have seen pretty upbeat comments from Jeff Bezos about the president-elect and the new administration.